Yeah, for me, what happened was I played some Cuphead. It's very good. It's very challenging.
Hey, you're right.
I haven't done co-op though. I've only done single player.
Co-op's hard as shit. Co-op's way harder than regular.
But like you can bring each other back to life.
Yes, but
it's hard to do it.
You have to parry them.
Yeah,
to bring them back to life.
You can get the auto jump parry.
But the problem is that having another, so the camera control becomes super fucked up in co-op because whoever's at the front just dies.
Okay.
Every time. And if you're
enemy placement is pretty random.
Yeah, and if you're too close together, I'm talking the scrolling levels. Whoever's at the front just dies.
And the running guns.
And if you're too close together, Cuphead and Mugman, I don't know how you would do this, but it is genuinely difficult, even though they're different colors, to always keep in your mind which one is which.
That's weird. I would not have that problem. Blue and red are pretty clear.
Well, there's a lot of shit all over the screen all the time.
Fair
and whenever,
enough.
like, you go to jump, and you're like, how come I didn't jump? And you go, wait, I did jump.
Okay.
Because, shit like that.
Yeah, but I mean, as a solo game,
it's astounding.
As I'm enjoying it thoroughly, and it's you're getting that right amount of like, just okay, I got close. I was like a couple hits away, but that one last part of the last phase is a fucking pain in the ass. / like I couldn't have known what was going to come when that phase started.
There's some fucking clown guy that just the roller coaster just comes in from the right side of the screen instantly, and it's just like, come on.
There's some challenges that I'm like, I've faced this in other games so many times, but this super limited life bar and the size of everything in this game just makes this one thing harder. It's when you're fighting the cake queen lady.
Oh man, that was brutal.
And like you get through all the minions no problem. And you're jumping on her little mini knights to get your little EX shots, and then it starts crawling, and the fucking head comes out, and it's just a simple like projectile that tracks to you, stops, and then tracks to you again, and stops for a few seconds.
That's it.
But that, in the midst of everything else moving, is the hardest thing in the world.
You can parry the peppermint.
Well, it's pink, so yeah. Anything pink you parry.
Yeah, I didn't realize it.
Sometimes you're
almost entirely.
No, like the color
head
cube
doesn't make the connection because sometimes some objects are not 100% pink. Like there's a bit of white.
The fact that it was pink and white is what threw me off.
I immediately tried it right away. Like as soon as I see pink anywhere, I assume that's what they want to happen.
But yeah, no, the fact that the parallax is scrolling in that stage and the cake tower is like a horrific John Carpenter beast and all that shit. That last part, it should be easy. It's not.
Yeah, and like if everything kept moving, it'd be fine because your sense of like it'd be like a shmup, right? Where like you just dodge through them and find the path, and then you do that little Ice Shield 21 thing with your brain where you see a line and you go there, I'm alive.
Yeah.
But here it's like no, it stops, and that one little detail fucks everything up. And like a lot of the bosses have something like that where there's just this one part of this one phase that you're like, fuck me.
Yeah.
Super tough.
And there's even parts like after it that are not as tough, but it's just that like there's just one thing that throws you off. Willie, I'm not sure if you'd agree, but I think there's one feature Cuphead could use. It'd be the ability to skip bosses. Be good.
Sip and swallow.
Yeah.
I was amazed when you hit that second run and gun level and it's on just a steep enough slope that your shots are pretty much useless as you're going up the log until they're point blank. And I'm like, you fucks, all you had to do was make it slightly less inclined. And you made it just high enough that your gun is worthless.
Did you do the run and gun level where you parry to reverse gravity?
No, I haven't gotten there yet.
It's the most nightmarish thing ever.
I haven't done it.
It's so bad.
That's crazy.
It's like...
But I did happen to have the auto parry trait on when the ghost challenge popped up, and I was like, that's a free room.
Oh, hell yeah, it is.
That's, you don't even have to think about it.
The second one's not even that much harder either.
Okay. Yeah.
Like those charms, like ghost parry, instant parry or the smoke bomb are the only two to choose.
So I have a complaint, and that is in my... maybe I missed it, but I started and then I started again. And in the shop, it doesn't indicate what type of item you're buying, if I'm not mistaken. Does it?
Yeah.
Does it say whether it's a charm or a shot or a thing?
Oh, no, it does not.
That's what I'm saying. Like
you just have to infer.
Yeah, because obviously if it tells you it's a type of weapon, it's either you get that much,
the
right?
The drinks are weapons, and everything that's not a drink is a charm.
So I assumed that I was gonna get what's the fourth type again? There's a supers.
It's shot, super, charm.
Yeah. So I basically, or like early on, I mean, obviously, again, it's like experience will fix this. But first time I spent a bunch of my money, it was all on charms. And I thought I'd be able to equip these things in parallel, like a build.
Yeah.
And it was not that. They were all these things I had to switch out from. Yeah. And I was like, I would have liked...
You get the auto parry and you get smoke bomb and you're like, this is going to be great. And you're like, I only get one.
You figure it out immediately afterwards, so it's fine. But I would have liked a thing in advance to just let me know which slot the item's going to go to.
It would ever be that type of game that would even let you like make a build like
no, that. Well, you do make a build with what they give you.
Yeah, but
what I just mean is like something that
mix
just...
and match things.
Right. All I'm saying is like right before you buy it, just say what type of item it is, like on the description, so that you know exactly which slot it's going into, in case the description sounds like a charm but also like a weapon. You know,
when I'm not throwing game journalist articles under the bus, I do have something serious to say about Cuphead, which is I'm really glad though that like after those stories where like we had to mortgage our houses, like our entire lives were dependent on the success of this game. It's nice to see that it's like a huge success.
If you have not bought Cuphead, buy Cuphead. It's astonishing.
You don't even need to.
But it's great
because they're doing great.
This is one of those games that I would just call an instant classic.
I'm really happy that people love the actual classical look and get it right away and understand it and have fun with it. The main thing, though, of course, is like, like my girlfriend walks by and goes, wow, what is that? That's amazing. I'm like, yeah, it's a super cool old game. And she's watching me play, and she's like, that looks really hard. And I'm like, it's pretty challenging.
It's not that hard, though. Like, it's quite difficult.
It's not that hard if you are okay with, like, repetition, learning.
If you're okay with trial and error.
And trial and error, exactly. And that's where she's like, I would get so mad at this and stop playing. And I was like, really? It's like, yeah. And then we ended up talking about that, whereas like I'm like, but because the trial and error is where the fun comes in. And she's like, oh no, to me that's just like stopping me from seeing the next thing.
Yeah.
So it's the old, and it's just it's a mentality difference.
There was an article that framed this nonsense as like
there's a Penny Arcade comic about it.
Yeah, it framed it as what you're owed versus what you earn, but that's not what it's about. It's about the point brought up in the Penny Arcade comic that you're referencing.
Do you want to play with the crabs?
No, it's people that want to beat a game and people that want to see a game.
Yeah. It's a clear difference. And that's why the article, I wish I could skip boss fights, no, it's not fun, is like the dumbest article ever, where it's like, what do we do when we do a video? And we're like, it's kind of meandering on. Let's go to the next boss, or let's go to the boss at least. Yes, because that's the showpiece. Because usually
you see the big budget.
There's a shitstorm video that has not gone up yet. It's one of the better ones. I love that fucking video, in which we got stuck at a certain point because it was somewhat more difficult than the preceding parts. And Matt and I okay, this might take a couple tries, so we're gonna cut the footage, but we're at least gonna see this whole boss fight because this boss fight is awesome.
Oh, guess what? Right when we stopped that video,
oh shit, not again.
No, don't worry about it. The game kind of meanders for a while.
Oh great. See,
with stuff we've already seen.
You find the budget spikes.
Yeah. Well, and not so much budget spikes, but more like, all right, let's settle back into this rhythm after doing this different thing, and we stopped at the perfect time.
Well, it's the biggest problem with most random third-person shooter mid-aughts games is super crazy set-piece beginning, nothing in the middle, big set-piece ending.
Yeah. The middle is the hardest place to keep attention, or where whatever the budget, the pipeline was for the game. It's
because that's where the rules of game design come in hard, and you have nothing else to hide inside
also works the same for LPs. First 2 or 3 episodes.
You're right.
Then it peters out. Then when you get back to the end, viewership spikes.
Unless there's a really interesting plot that's continuing throughout the thing. But if there's a thread to follow, that's fun,
rule.
Right? But you're super right. And that again, it's like a video game thing, because when you have films that are broken up into acts, there's a structure to it that is meant to keep your interest peaked until a certain point, and then find another climax. Right? With video games that kind of have this this bowl shape then you end up with this middle, and like it's like the middle is where you get to see the game's design exposed raw.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
You're used to the visuals, you're used to the mechanics, right? You've probably gotten not all the weapons, but enough to really have a handle on your character. Now what? What are you going to do to keep it interesting in this middle
That's why
point?
whenever you see a gameplay demo at E3 or something, like, they always show off the character. Okay, so there we are about halfway through the game in this part.
Yeah.
So you don't have all your abilities, but you have some of them. So this is what the most of the game is going to look like.
Yeah.
Right. And you can see the failures when it's just like, all right, I've been doing the same thing for 4 levels now in different locations. And you can see the successes like Titanfall 2, where it's like, this level introduces something you will never see again. This level introduces something you'll never do again.
Yeah.
You know? And then you're like, this
Like
is
running on walls.
Right. And so you can take the order of like the Titanfall levels and like rearrange them and get the same relative level of excitement going across, you know?
You're doing this now.
And it's all fun in different ways, and you're like, that is a fucking solid design. But yeah, no, Cuphead, I think, is going to annoy a lot of people that want to see it. Whereas people that want to beat it will thoroughly enjoy it.
The other thing is that, like, the idea, like, the skip the bosses thing in Cuphead is extra super double dumb stupid.
Because it's all boss
Because
fight.
it's a 95% boss rush game.
Yeah.
And also, all that fancy animation that you want to see is all in the different phases
of the
bosses.
Yeah, it is.
So if you were able to skip a boss fight you couldn't beat, and also the boss fights get harder over time by far. Like, the earlier bosses are chump compared to the later ones. So like, you would, if you start skipping bosses because you can't beat them, you would just skip every single boss in the game and see nothing. You wouldn't even get what you wanted.
Yeah, you need to develop the skill to be able to deal with them, and you're basically punishing yourself. And if that happens, I mean, it's a shame, but like, yeah, I guess the game, is not one that you're, you know what I mean? Like it's fine to like feel that way about things, like to just want to like tour through them.
There's even a simple mode.
There is a simple mode, and I like I said, I like traveling mode in Res because there's people that just want to feel the beat and the music and get through it without having to worry about that. So I understand that part of it. But like here, the phases of the boss where you fought and got to that really hard point is where the animation that you want to see is coming out and doing crazy shit. So
maybe you should just get good.
What's the matter, young kid? Not good at video games. Cuphead!